Ebro in the morning. We got Laura Styles.
Yes.
We got Rosenberg.
True.
More important than you guys, though, we have Ice Cube and the cast of Straight Outta Compton.
Right. What's up, yo? What's going on?
Here with us right now. Wow. I didn't expect to get all of y'all in the same seat. And it's real eerie to look at you sitting next to your son.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
Ebro, I'm glad you know that they're two different people, because I know Ebro gets very confused when he sees movies.
Nah, because this the new Ice Cube.
Yeah,
Yo, Cube. When you put the record out, no, I'm playing. So, Cube, let's talk about putting the movie together, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to, obviously the business aspects and the film coming out. What's the exact release date?
August 14th.
The process. How long was this process in getting this to completion?
Damn, man. It's like hardcore was like a 5-year process. It moved from one studio to another, and it was just hard. It wanted to unravel in a few different years of this 5 years span. It wanted to come apart. Things just wasn't coming together. So it just took everybody and everything we had to keep this movie together and do it right.
Was the biggest battle, because this is real for you, right? This whole thing is very real. And I know for hip hop fans who either were, I was 13 when the album came out, Straight Outta Compton, so your face, your voice tone, the words that were in the song, we felt like you were speaking on behalf of people who were angry or wanting to say certain shit as young men. Was that something that you were fighting to maintain in continuity of the film and make sure that it had that texture to it? Is that one of the fights?
Yeah, we wanted to, everybody know the when and the where, but people don't know the why, so we wanted to let people know why did we do this kind of music. So we had to show, Compton as a character. Compton, you feel it. You feel what we was going through. So now you understand where the rhymes are coming from. And then when you see our story, we speaking for the people who don't have a voice, and that we being brutally honest and we just doing us, what I mean? And we not really worried about how we're going to be portrayed or how we're going to be seen by people that we see are lames or people that's not really into the music.
Was that hard for you, O'Shea, when you were, asked to do this? Did you have to sit with your dad and really pick that apart, or is that something that he already instilled in you when you was coming up, just what that was really all about?
My father's always pressed that issue with me, growing up. He's always let me know these stories and things of his past and really where his head was in a lot of this, creating this art, And he would let me know before scenes, where he was thinking, where it was. So I was already embodying all of that, and it was about it's really about showing the public. I really wanted to make sure that the way that people see this movie, the new generation is going to take this as law. They're going to take this as this is how everything went down. So I wanted to make sure that was in my hands.
And for you guys, Dre and Easy in the back.
Yeah.
Yo, Dre.
Yo, what up?
Gia. But for you, did you have to talk to Dr. Dre? Did you, what was that experience like for you?
Absolutely, man. It was it's surreal, man. This whole experience period is surreal. Sitting right here with y'all, with Cube, Dre from the beginning, he was like they gave us everything we needed. He was there on set every day. The other members of N.W.A, they all came. And Easy's family came out and supported, and they just gave us all the tools we needed. But Gary, from the beginning, he was just like, I got you, and we're gonna make this as real as possible. And there was no other way, it could go.
Your role harder, right? Rest in peace. Easy's not with us. Who did you talk to other than Cube and Dre to make sure that you had the right energy?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that it was harder, and everybody who had any type of encounter with Easy, kind of stepped up and showed that into my life. Tamika Woods, she was a big part of that. She gave me like a lot of behind the scenes stuff that was never seen. Yella had a lot of film that they had from back in the day, and it was just a lot of tools, that were given to me physically for me to be able to access, a lot of outlets, a lot of family members, and just I kind of tried to cram it all together and just make an opinion for him, to try to see where his mind was at in some of these situations.
And what was your relationship like with Lil Easy?
He cool. He was actually the first dude. He had the welcome wagon waiting on me when I first got there. Cause before I left New Orleans, I talked on the phone with him maybe 3 hours. We ran it. And when I first got here, he brought me to like Roscoe's, and like
nice.
he helped me, maneuver some of these like interviews and stuff that I did. He been a really good dude, man. Real supportive the whole time.
And I'm curious about the audition process for you.
Yeah.
Because you're from New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get this audition? How did they find you? How did you get casted?
Well, I mean, shouts to my man Mark Wahlberg. I think he kind of helped put me on the radar for Universal. But when they sent it to my agent, and I was like, okay, Easy E, I'm gonna take it serious, But I put myself on tape, sent it out, and then they gave me a call maybe 3 weeks later, and they was like, Gary, want to know if you can come to LA for a callback, and I'm like, the way my bank account's set up, I don't really know, if I could come out there and they can still tell me no.
Set up, you mean?
Right, if they still tell me no, it's gonna hurt my heart to spend all this money. And they was like, all right, so they called me back 30 minutes later and was like, Gary, want to Skype it? So all right, and we Skyped an hour and 17 minutes. But who's counting? You know what I mean?
I love that.
But I booked it right there on Skype.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. How important is it to you, Cube in particular, to ensure that this movie is received well? I'm so excited to see it, and everything I've heard has just been this is really, they got it, and we lived through this. You know what I mean? This for us who really live this culture. We lived through this, and it's important for us to see it right. And Notorious was cool, but we knew there was too much stuff that wasn't right, didn't feel realistic. The trailers for this at least make it look like it really was right. How important was it for you that people didn't put an asterisk next to it of it's okay, but it really told the story?
I mean, extremely important. Man, as filmmakers, we wanted to make sure people thought the movie was hot, and not lukewarm, not kind of okay. We had this movie in our hands, so we did everything we could to make sure the people in our generation would feel it, would taste it, would smell it, would feel like they was transported back, between 86 and 96. And so we did everything we could to ensure that this movie was better than a biopic. It's an incredible piece of work as far as all the things that we achieved in the movie. It is a biopic, but it is also about friendship. It's about David versus Goliath. It's about the system coming down on 5 guys who was just trying to get out the hood. So, all these things we had to marinate, mix, and then we had these guys who are top-notch dramatic actors, all 3 of them. So, all of them was putting in work. So I think we got us a nice gumbo of goodness right here with this Straight Outta Compton movie.
Cube, you in N.W.A., post N.W.A., have had, rap beef has been a part of something that you were never afraid to engage in. You guys want to talk about rap beef?
Man, quiet as kept.
No, but not picking sides. What was the ingredient when you entered into any, whether it was with Common, whether it was when you had to go at N.W.A., whoever it was with, what was the thing that you as a rapper made sure that you did when you were coming up with your rhymes to go at somebody?
I think you got to go after the jugular. You can't play with it. You can't throw a jab out there and expect, not to get hit with a haymaker.
Yo, why y'all laughing in the back, though? What's the problem?
Nothing.
No, say it.
Say
Come on,
it.
man.
Why you keep shaking your head?
We just
you knew it was
No
gonna come up.
Vaseline is just one of my favorite scenes in the movie. That's all. That's
Oh,
all
so
I'm
there's a
saying.
no Vaseline scene in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh wow,
no doubt.
because I have no idea how far this goes.
Oh, it goes past.
This doesn't go to real
where you
motherfucking
think.
G's, does it?
It goes into
That was petty.
That was petty. It covers a lot.
Yeah. Right.
It covers a lot.
You good?
Yeah, but
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
quiet as kept. Quiet as
gonna be
kept.
happy.
That's how I knew, because I'm from New Orleans, like we talked about. But that's how I kind of knew a lot about the N.W.A. story itself, because it kind of summed it up. If you ever had a non-visual on why it happened, that was what you needed. That was what you needed, right?
Did you, Q? How's your relationship with Jerry Heller?
I don't have a relationship with Jerry.
And through this, there was still no communication with him?
No communication.
Still that bad?
I mean, you know, I buried the hatchet. You know what I mean? I understand what Jerry was trying to do. It didn't work as far as with me. So, you know, I'm not, you know, keeping no animosity going. You know what I mean? We tried to be, you know, I think we very fair to Jerry in this movie. You know, Jerry was a champion for N.W.A. He did stand up against the powers that be for the group. You know, I just didn't like how he dealt with us as individuals in the group. So, you know, we tried to be, you know, authentic and fair with everybody without, you know what I mean, just, you know, lampooning anybody. We just tried to be real. We tried to show everybody's blemishes, but we, you know, we wanted to be real with everybody too.
How'd Paul Giamatti do as Jerry? You think he nailed it?
Killed it. Everybody killed it. You know, everybody killed their performances. You know, at a certain point in the movie, I start like saying, damn, this look like us. You know, this is us. And then I'm like, no, these are actors. You know what I mean? It's like, it's that real. It takes you back, and it's just an incredible look at the group.
Well, being that this is such a personal project for you, did you always know you wanted your son to be a part of it, or he had to audition just like everybody else?
I wanted him to be a part of it, but he had to audition. You know, I was going to run him through the ringer. I knew a lot of people would be crying nepotism, and, you know, you just gave it to him. And, you know, the coach's son, he got it the worst. So, you know, I made sure that he earned this. And I wanted to see how serious he was, too. You know, sometimes you ask your kids to do stuff, and they like,
right.
But they not serious. And I just was like, every obstacle I threw out there, he ran at it full speed. So I was like, oh, okay, this kid is ready to take the next step. And I think, you know, I think he's a movie star.
Do you feel like the music that's out right now, you can speak to your perception of it, and then you guys as, you know, young cats in hip hop and loving the music speak on your perception. But a lot of the social climate of, you know, Los Angeles, South Central Compton, that was going on between police brutality in the community, and the relationship between the community and police is very present right now. And now with social media, you know, it's not just like we're hearing the news report from young brothers making rap songs. Now we're seeing it on social media, so people can't deny it when it's in their face like they used to in the 80s. They used to try to act like it wasn't happening.
Yep.
Do you feel like the music is capturing it the way you would like to, as somebody who tried to capture it in their music and was successful at it right now?
Well, I think, you know, each artist should, you know, take it upon themselves. You know, it's like, if you don't feel it, don't do it. You know, you shouldn't just do it because you think you should do it, but it should be something deep in your heart and you feel like you got to say. Now, the second thing, you got to make it hot. You know, you can't just have a social conscious record that sucks, or that's just feel too preachy. So it's up to the artist, if they want to do that, to make it hot enough to get played or to get some kind of
or whatever it is.
You know, whatever it need to do. But it's artists that's doing it. You know, I like what J. Cole is doing. I like what Kendrick is saying. You know what I'm saying? Kanye, you know, he definitely, you know, speaks his mind and his feelings, you know, deep inner feelings. So, you know, it's really all about the artist. You know, we shouldn't put pressure on artists to say things they don't feel. You know, it's like, if you feel it, you know, go do it, but make it hot enough to you know, definitely make noise.
Is We Be Clubbing in this movie?
No, We Be Clubbing is not in this movie. You know, but you know, we got a lot of hits in here. We got a lot of hits.
Steady Mobbing in the movie.
Man, go see the movie, man.
Right.
Wait, come on, baby.
I cannot wait. Also, real quick, talk a little bit about Will Packer.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's such an incredible producer, playing such a huge role in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. But his role in helping this whole thing come together.
Well, it's great. You know, he's an executive producer. You know, the you know, boots on the ground, like nuts and bolts. You know, I gotta give a shout out to Scott Bernstein. You know, who was a day-to-day fisticuff producer with me, Gary, Will. You know, everybody kind of put in work and did what they had to do. We needed everybody to put this movie together because it wanted to fall apart, come apart in so many different ways, because it was like, yo, if we can't do it the real, we shouldn't do it at all. And everybody was willing to walk away. at several stages if it wasn't coming together how we saw it. And so we just did everything we could, needed everybody to put this movie together.
And you didn't want to be embarrassed, you know, your legacy to have that on it. You know, even for F. Gary Gray, the weight of being like, you know, I came with something that matters about a group, one of the, you know, probably top 5 most prolific, influential groups in hip hop. Mm-hmm. You spoke about making the music not suck. In speaking about N.W.A. back then, and you had Dre making beats, and you had Yella spinning, and you were writing rhymes, and Ren was writing rhymes, and you was writing Eazy's rhymes, et cetera, et cetera. What was that, and do you capture that in the movie, and what was that like where Dre was like, nah, this is the beat, y'all rap like this? What was that process with N.W.A. back then?
Oh man, you get to go in the studio with N.W.A. You get a chance to see how it was to be in the studio with Dre, how he produced. The audience gets a chance to experience that with us, so it's kind of cool to be able to take people back. But it was a friendly competition, you know. Dre said in the movie, "Yo, if your rhymes ain't dope, it ain't making the record." Period. So we knew from jump that just because we was in the group, that don't mean we was gonna be on the record. It was like, you got to come with it. You know, we was writing rhymes, rewriting rhymes, you know, go home, write it over, come back.
Anybody help you write your rhymes?
Nah, nobody helped me write my rhymes. It was all about, you know, coming up with dope hooks, dope concepts. You know, DOC wrote a lot of rhymes for Eazy. Ren wrote a lot of rhymes for Eazy. You know, I wasn't the only one. So we was all just putting in work.
A lot of people feel like Straight Outta Compton is the beginning of N.W.A. Of course, N.W.A. and the Posse is the beginning of N.W.A. I mean, some of us are too young to really remember that. Some of us were old enough to have bought it right when it came out.
But I got a fat girl.
First of all, in the movie, I know I don't want to ask you every detail of the movie. We're gonna believe me, people watching this are gonna see this movie August 14th. But do you spend some time on that? And also, for you looking back on it, Cube, how big were y'all off of that time? Because we think about you blowing up when Straight Outta Compton happened, but in L.A., things were already moving quite a bit with N.W.A. and the Posse, correct?
Yeah, well, you know, N.W.A. and the Posse is like, that's kind of a record company compilation. You know, we never called ourselves N.W.A. and the Posse. You know what I mean? We had singles out. We had Dope Man out. We had Ebro. We had Boys in the Hood. You know, so we had these songs, and they kind of put it on a compilation with some other groups and called it N.W.A. and the Posse. So off them singles, we were starting to catch momentum, but we was still pretty much locals. You know, we was pretty much locals until Straight Outta Compton dropped, and then that's what took us nationwide, then worldwide.
Do you remember at the time? I remember my version of when Straight Outta Compton came out. Right, you had what was it? The video jukebox was a thing where you could dial up and order your music video. Also, the mom and pop stores in the hood got sound scan. And I remember when Straight Outta Compton came out because there was no clean version. So it wasn't like you could play it on the radio. We had, you know, a high school radio station at the time. My boy played Boys in the Hood and got suspended from school for playing it, but felt like he had to do it, right? That was like his thing. Right. But do you remember the process and those conversations about, we put an album out, it sold 1 million copies, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is this Straight Outta Compton thing?" I remember that, and it was written up in newspapers and things like that. Did they come and say, "Yo, we got to make clean versions for the radio"? What was that conversation? Do you remember it?
Well, it was you know, we were starting to do a lot of going around to different radio stations, and the PDs would come in and be like, "Man, can we get a clean version, please, please, please?" And we was like, you know, Eazy as a businessman was like, "Yo, we need to do this, yo, Dre," because people had always talked about how we wasn't gonna get our records played. So we was like, "Yo, we already doing somewhat of a clean version for the videos. Let's do it for the radio." So we started just doing these clean versions, because before they would just turn it backwards. Right. It would just sound all crazy, you know, a bunch of backwards spins.
We would take the reel and splice the edit through the whole song and just
make it
reverse the word.
So it just started sounding too crazy with that many edits. So we was like, "Yo, we need to do clean versions," and just started to figure out how to clean the records up.
And N.W.A., I remember too, because I was upset about it. They made a record one time for radio. It was called "This Is Something to Dance To." Remember
I
that
hated
record?
that record too.
You hated it, right?
I hated that record. We argued about this record.
I love that story.
Studio.
He
Me,
was like, what did you say?
Like, this is not N.W.A. This need to go on JJ Fad album or something.
Yeah.
This ain't N.W.A. I don't know what y'all doing.
Yo, I'm tired. What about you? Man, this is something to dance to.
That ain't Panic Zone.
Put them jackets back on.
I hated these records.
Fuck that song, baby.
This is a Dre, Arabian Prince, DJ Yella,
Yes.
fast music, you know, from their
Wrecking
DJ
crew.
era.
But you had Egyptian Lover and Arabian Prince. They was making those like Planet Rock-esque, freestyle-esque club records at the time.
Yeah, but once Two Live Crew started doing it, everybody else just put it down, man. Put it down.
I heard that the Nipsey Hussle audition, right, to play Ren, and I'm just curious because I'm sure that when people got word that you were putting this project together, so many people would want to be a part of it. Can you share some of the people that probably called you up like, yo, can I get in? Can I get a part?
I don't want to put nobody on blast, but it was a few MCs that definitely wanted to try to play us. We didn't really want that, I think Nipsey, he went out for Snoop. I think that might have worked if he, if it all worked out. But we wanted unknown faces. We wanted people not to be worried about history of an actor. That's why we didn't pick a lot of known actors, because we wanted you to go in the movie and see N.W.A. and not be like, oh man, that's T.I. Damn, he do look a little like Ren, or Dre or whatever, so we didn't want that. We wanted people to be engulfed and caught into the characters, into the movie, and not have any baggage from these actors.
To the kids in the movie, favorite N.W.A. record? Is there one that jumps out at you as you're like, no, that's my #1 joint?
Gangsta Gang.
Gangsta. Yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, man.
I'm with you guys on Gangsta Gangsta. That's my favorite N.W.A. record.
Easy's verse on that shit is cold.
Boys in the Hood, man.
Cube wrote it.
Boys in the Hood, and if it ain't rough.
Yeah, if it ain't rough, it's dope.
If it ain't rough, is Ice Cube. What's your favorite N.W.A.
Fuck
record?
the Police.
Fuck the Police.
I like
Super
that
dope.
answer.
Yeah.
Is there a Fuck the Police scene in the movie?
Oh yeah, several.
So that's a
Yeah.
police brutality is a theme continuous through Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
It's continuous now, man.
It's through life.
Or it's a theme.
I mean, it's a theme in our current.
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Right.
A theme in our life.
And the reason that's important to me is because I know, look, I'm a 40-year-old dad, right? My daughter's not old enough to take her to see Straight Outta Compton, but if I had a kid that was 12, 13, it would be like, look, we are going as men to watch this film about the moment in hip-hop where young black men were able to get on a recording and say exactly how the fuck they feel. Because now, that's taken for granted. Hip-hop wasn't readily on the radio in 1988.
Exactly.
You had specialty shows on the weekend, and the black hierarchy of social and government at that time was not fucking with rap music. Like, it was not cool. It was drug dealer street music. They didn't want it to be mainstream. They didn't want it on the radio. They didn't want it to be talked about. Like, that was like a real thing. And people remember it now like, oh, nah, hip-hop's, B. There was a time in the 80s when it was not cool. And it was trying to be swept under the rug. So, anything we left out before we get out of here?
Yes, Laura reminded me we should mention this Compton soundtrack that we're hearing about. Q, what can you tell us anything about this? What you've heard, what you know?
That's the Dr. Dre question right there. I opened my mouth a week ago, and Dre was like, man, you opened your mouth too quick. I said, oh, damn, Dre, you didn't tell me it was a secret.
Well, now we know it's coming out.
It's coming. It's
And
dope.
it's
And it's
music
out.
inspired by the movie.
Yes, it's music inspired by the movie. The music in the movie is all from back in the day. This is brand new, fresh, out the box. Dr. Dre finally blessing us with a new record.
And I know from listening to Dre's show on Apple Music, because he interviewed you on his pharmacy show, you have a song on there.
Yeah, I got a song on there called Issues.
And Kendrick's
on
Everybody's
there.
on there.
Marsha Ambrose is
Everybody
on there.
that he's worked with in the past pretty much is on there.
John Connor, King
Man, it's
Ed.
dope. It's.
How much have you heard? The whole thing or just
I've
pieces?
heard a nice chunk of it. Everybody gonna be happy.
It is.
Hey, listen, Cube, I'm gonna see you, at at the Barbershop 3 premiere. You know, we are co-cast members. I don't know if when you went down to the film, they were all talking about me still.
Yeah, they were.
Cause so you heard what time it was. I mean,
why did we do this?
What did they say?
I only have 4 words, you know what I'm saying? But they were impactful words in Barbershop 3. So if y'all need any advice as actors also, just feel free to reach out.
I'm going to need your card.
Yeah, just give me a call.
That's like a good solid crash course.
Yeah, I'll hook you guys up. You'll see the scene and you'll know what I'm talking about.
All right.
No, I'm really in the movie for 2 seconds.
He is.
Do you get a haircut?
In the movie? No. I didn't even make it to the barbershop.
That's what I said. Impossible.
Impossible.
Ice Cube, Cass, yo, it was great talking to you guys. Thanks for coming by, man.
Thank
you. Good talk.
Yo, man, I know it was hard work. Congratulations on making it to this point with this movie.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm very proud of it. August 14th. Everybody go check it out.
August 14th.